Bernard Enchiboesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, has been released from police custody after satisfying bail conditions set by the High Court in Accra. His release follows 3 days after the court granted bail in 2 separate rulings connected to ongoing investigations into illegal mining cases involving Akunta Mining Company Limited. Chairman Wontumi, who was pleaded not guilty, faces charges of facilitating unlicensed mining activities and unlawfully assigning mineral rights without ministerial approval. Now, joining us on the phone lines is one of his lawyers, Enoch Afuakwa. Good evening to you, Counsel. Grateful to you for your time here on the Channel One newsroom. How is Chairman Wontumi? We know that when he was arrested and detained by Yoko, there were reports that his health had deteriorated. How is he doing after this latest arrest and detention?
A very good evening to yourself and to your viewers on Channel One and City FM. And let me say thanks for having me. Mr. Bernard Enchiboesiako is a man full of life, and he's okay. He's enjoying the serenity of the atmosphere with family and friends currently.
So we know that he's facing 2 separate trials. Was he required to provide distinct sureties for each case?
Yes, please. Because the High Court, we have only one High Court in Ghana, but differently constituted. Once the High Court is differently constituted, it means that the orders of both courts ought to be complied with as ordered by the court. So certainly he provided 2 distinct properties to be able to sustain or to be able to, as it were, comply with the orders of the court as granted on Tuesday by the Accra High Court, Criminal Court 1 and Criminal Court 4.
Did that contribute to the reasons why there were delays in him meeting these bail conditions?
I must say that the sureties, persons who were ready to push to post the bail bond for Mr. Bernard Enchiboesiako and the other accused persons were present in court right after the court ordered. So they had a document with them in court, and they were ready to provide the document to be able to start the process. But as you were in court, you realized that the first court, that is the Criminal Court 4, where we started the whole proceedings from on Tuesday morning, started earlier and completed the hearing by 10 a.m. in the forenoon. Subsequently, the Criminal Court 1, where he was required to attend the court sitting and to answer charges to the counts that have been leveled against him, was an afternoon court, and the judge, her ladyship, the court sat around 2:15 p.m. So certainly, a lot of time went away without that. So at the time that we started the process, the judicial service staff had closed because it was just 4 p.m. and they closed at 4 p.m. We ended the court proceedings in the circuit court, in the Criminal Court 1, around 3:45 p.m. and barely some last inches or last minute to the closing hours of the workers of the judicial service. So the whole process started on Wednesday morning, where the registrar of the court needed to write to the Land Commission to provide authentication as to the documents that we have provided, and to also request for evaluation report from recognized bodies like AESL. And you know, these processes take time. So it was as a result of this administrative bureaucracies that got our clients to stay in custody for almost 3 days now. So certainly, it's as a result of those processes. It is not as if that Mr. Bernard Enchiboesiako was not getting the conditions met. That was the reason why he was in custody. It was as a result of the administrative processes.
Right, Counsel. How is he reacting to these charges in the first place? What has been his general response?
Yeah, his general response is what is before the court. When he was arraigned before the Criminal Court, the High Court Criminal Court 4, he pleaded not guilty to all the several counts of allegations that have been leveled against him. Similarly, when he was arraigned before the High Court Criminal Court 1, certainly when the charges were read to him, he also pleaded not guilty to all the counts of charges that were leveled against him. So certainly, his position has not changed. He still maintains his innocence as far as the charges that have been leveled against him are concerned. So certainly once he has pleaded not guilty to the various counts that he has been charged with, certainly his presumption of innocence under Section 192C triggers, and that he's presumed innocent until proven guilty. So we are there just watching that if the state is minded to proceed on the charges that have been leveled against him, and they conclude their case in court, then maybe we may not even be called to answer charges if a sufficient case is not made against him. But if his lordship or the judge says after the close of the prosecution's case that a case has been made against him and that he ought to answer, or he ought to answer to the charge that has been leveled against him, why not? He will also provide his side of the story for the judge to make a determination. So he's full of life, he's determined, and he knows that once he's before court, the court administers justice in accordance with law. And certainly, we are only waiting that true justice will be served, and will be served in accordance with law.
I'm grateful to you, Counsel. Enoch Afwakwa is one of the lawyers for Chairman Wontumi, who has been released from custody after successfully meeting the bail conditions set by the High Court in Accra. Let's move on away from the issues relating to Chairman Wontumi and head into the Ashanti region, where residents